AFCON qualifiers are underway. We are into it now. The prelims, they're done, and now we're into these groups. And my word, it makes you realise just how many teams there are in Africa. It's quite unbelievable how many groups there are. 12 groups of 4 is insane. And this is, we've already done prelims. So it's unbelievable. But what a start already to this tournament, Ryan.
So we've got, how many groups, sorry, Tom?
12
groups, 4 teams. So we're going to be doing a deep dive into every single one. We're not. We're going to do a summary of what's happened so far in AFCON 2023 qualification. There's not been a massive amount. Some groups, there's not even been any games. So we're going to kind of go sort of blitz over those, Tom, aren't we?
Yeah.
And we're just going to cover the main talking points from what happened so far, with a bit more, as always here on D&Q, an emphasis on those smaller nations. Those ones that are further down the FIFA World Rankings, because that is what this channel is about. Tom, where do you want us to start off, mate?
Well, we can skip over Group A because there's not been any games.
Yes.
So we're going to go straight to Group B because there has been a good result for a minnow nation. Well, actually, I will just say, although it's not really minnow nation territory, it's also a good result for Burkina Faso beating Cape Verde. Although I'm kind of worried about Cape Verde because even their friendly results recently haven't been very good. So we'll see what's happening there. But nonetheless, Eswatini, who I said in the video before the preliminaries would potentially be the side to watch and maybe even get to this AFCON, they got an incredible draw against Togo. What a goal that was, Ryan.
It was insane. You predicted they had Somalia.
Yeah.
We predicted them to win that. And you also added a little flavour of they might be this tournament's. I don't know if you said Gambia but you kind of said that sort of thing. You know, a nation that will surprise a few people, and they've certainly done that with this first game. Now, I think Eswatini have won 4-5, something like that in the world rankings. Togo are a bit high, 120-ish. But either way, to go away to Togo, to go 1-0 down, to equalise on 84, to be pegged back again, go 2-1 down on 87, and then 90 plus 5, I think it was. Ungemwenya with an absolute rocket, and the goal of AFCON qualifiers so far for me, which then sealed a really, really good result for Eswatini, and a great way for them to start this group. But it doesn't really surprise us, mate, does it? Because we watched that, and we watched quite a bit of that game against Somalia.
Yeah.
The first leg when they won 3-0, did they? And they looked really good, didn't they? That
this is tidy.
Yeah, really, really solid at the back, and then pacey, electric going forward. So it's good. We're quietly really pleased that they got that draw, didn't they? Really good result for them, and they have a big game in a couple of days' time at home to Burkina Faso.
Yeah,
so see how they get on in that one.
Absolutely, and that's it for the moment for Group B. But Group C is really interesting because in normal AFCON proceedings, the top 2 in this group would be Cameroon and Kenya, and they would get through and they would be in AFCON. But Kenya aren't in this tournament. Kenya disqualified. So Burundi or Namibia are going to AFCON, and they have played out to a 1-1 draw already. You've got Namibia at 112 in the FIFA World Rankings, Burundi at 139. We'll be watching this one closely. Burundi have only been to AFCON once before, and that was in 2019. Surprisingly, Namibia have been 3 times, which I think is fair play. Also in 2019, last one for them. What a tournament that was, by the way, 2019.
So good.
But a real chance for both of these sides, and an early draw. Not bad. I would say not bad for either. This one might be one of those weird ones where it comes down to goal difference against Cameroon, who will top this group. But a really interesting start.
Yes, Namibia will be kicking themselves though, mate. Home game, 1-0 up, concede on the 88th minute and peg back. So Burundi will definitely take it. We expect Cameroon to win that group. Be interesting. One of those 2 teams going to AFCON. Kind of hope it's, I don't know, kind of hope it's Burundi, just from a world rankings point of view.
I'm with you on that. You know,
and also if they've only been once, Namibia have been 3 times. I mean, let someone else have a go.
It's a huge chance for both, though. It is a huge chance. I don't know if you're going to get much of a better chance, given that a top 2 go through and there's only 3 teams in it.
Yeah, it's insane to reach a major tournament.
Yeah.
Now, Group D, like Group A, nothing's happened yet, so we can skip over that one. Group E, mate, are we going to talk about a huge amount about that? We've not got much in the way of AFCON minnows.
Let's just skirt over it because it upsets me, man. Come on. Madagascar played Ghana, so you can't really beat them up too much. But Central against Angola, there was a chance for them to get maybe a point on the board there. But let's just skip over it because the 2 sides we'd love to talk about in terms of Central and Madagascar both losing. However, I will say Angola, who have got a number of good players, they will be desperate to reach AFCON this time. And obviously Ghana are Ghana, aren't they? So they should get there. But no, nothing major to talk about in this group. And also, arguably not that much to talk about in Group F either. Algeria will win it. And, it's probably going to be a battle between... I'd imagine Tanzania. I think that Niger have done well to get a point there, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good result for Niger. Tanzania are 130 in the rankings, and Niger are 116.
Oh wow! I didn't realise. I only know that a few of the key players for Tanzania, who are decent players. Samata. Yeah, but I think with Niger, what that probably shows immediately is because I know a few key players, but I don't know that much about like the team cohesion and Eswatini. Eswatini have got no standout players, but they're a really good team. And maybe that will be a key kind of factor for Niger. Uganda have also got a few good players, a few standout players, and a 2-0 defeat to Algeria is by no means poor. So
they're in the top 100 now. They're in the top 100, Uganda, and they're 86. So it'll probably be an Algeria Uganda that progress into AFCON. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, we're skirting over Group F, and we're circling on Group G. And we're touching on. We've got a couple here, haven't we, mate? Firstly, we've got Mali that will probably win the group and qualify for AFCON 23. We've got Congo, who Mali beat 4-0 in the first game. That will probably provide a decent test to the other two. The nations that we kind of will have a bit more of a spotlight on. South Sudan and Gambia. Now, Gambia, we love on this channel. We love Gambia on this channel because of their adventure from the last AFCON, getting all the way through to the quarterfinals as the lowest ranked team in the tournament. If you've not seen our videos on Gambia's last AFCON adventure, where the hell have you been? We've done more than enough. But Gambia only edged through what we thought would be quite a straightforward preliminary tie against Chad. Yeah. And they have edged past South Sudan in this first game, mate. Talk us through your thoughts on it so far. If you do have any kind of what's the feeling around that? I mean, good win for Gambia, but a decent effort from South Sudan.
Well, it's really interesting because obviously we do follow Gambia quite closely. They're a very, very good team. Incredible AFCON last time out. They got very lucky in the prelims, and I hope that no Gambia fan minds me saying that's not a pen. The goal that won it for them. The chance that won it for them in the prelims, not for me. They got very lucky. Fair play, Chad. And again, they've come into this group. They've had training camps. There's an element of it's difficult for them because they're not at home. They don't play home games because their stadiums aren't good enough. So I know the training camp's in Senegal, and I think they're playing some of their games in Senegal as well. South Sudan, fair play, a 1-0 defeat. South Sudan are so much worse on paper than Gambia. So for them to come away with a 1-0 defeat, fair play, but I'm curious as to who that is more of a reflection on, whether it's a brilliant South Sudan performance or if Gambia, again, are just struggling to get out of second gear at the moment. Because Mali will be a tough test for every side. Congo won't be easy. And Gambia, they made an AFCON for them last time, but this group, I think they should get through. With the quality they've got now, I think they should get at least second in this group. So listen, it's a results business. Yeah, and they won, but not by as much as we thought.
No, they had all the players you'd expect. Jallo with the goal, Gay in goal, Collie, Toure, Gomez, Morrow, Bob, Cisse, Barrow, all played. Yeah. Look, South Sudan just made it tough. Football's never won on paper, is it?
Absolutely.
And ultimately, as you said, results business. They've gone out there and got the win. Group G, is an interesting one though, isn't it? Because you have Congo, who are a solid side, but they are only ranked just inside the top 100 themselves at 98. South Sudan 161 further down there. It'll be a challenge for them, and then so it'll probably be between Gambia and Congo as to who claims that final spot and who can compete as sort of best they can against Mali. They've got the win though, Gambia, so it's a good start for them.
Absolutely.
It's a good start for them. And we're going from G. Are we going to touch on H? We will, mate. We've got some.
Yeah.
We've got some minnows in there. Obviously, got the Ivory Coast, the big boys, Comoros, Zambia, Lesotho.
Yeah, obviously Ivory Coast hosts.
Great group.
Ivory Coast could lose every game and still make it because they host. So it's good to see that they are going out and performing and got a win, 3-1 win against Zambia. And it's obviously it's just who comes second in this one. I almost feel like, I don't know, I was going to say it's almost like Ivory Coast should be in the same group as one of the disqualified teams, and then that shouldn't be a thing, and they should have rejigged it slightly, but they didn't know whether or not the FIFA ban was going to be lifted. So the other teams have just got to shoot out between themselves, and Comoros got the job done against Lesotho. Fair play Lesotho getting through the qualification round. They scraped past Seychelles, but Comoros, it'd be great again after a brilliant AFCON for them if they can continue that. I will say Zambia won't be easy to beat for that second place side. I think it's between Comoros and Zambia, but Comoros have started perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely nailed it, mate. Nailed it. It'd be great to have Comoros back at another AFCON.
Yeah,
but they've got to get past Zambia, haven't they? Really, who will probably fight them for that second spot. Group I, mate.
Group I is so interesting because in recent years, Gabon and DRC haven't done well. They haven't done well. Mauritania now are a far different side to what they were even 5 years ago. They've got a number of players. They actually have a Kamara up front who's played in the Premier League now, so he's a good player, and what a start for them. Listen, Sudan haven't done great recently. I know we've got a couple of Sudan fans that check some stuff out on the channel. They didn't do very well at the Arab Cup. They've not performed well recently, and they've gone up against Mauritania and got slapped a little bit 3-0. A perfect start for Mauritania. A really poor start for DRC. I think Mauritania might quietly they may even win this group just quietly. They've got the job done. I think they can pick up points against Gabon and DRC, to be honest. Just based on recent form. So this one will be really, really interesting to see who gets through.
It's a shame about Sudan, isn't it? You said about they've not been good of late. They've only won 3 of their last 23 across the last 2 years. They haven't won a game in 2022 and started AFCON qualification in the worst possible way with that 3-0 loss. It's going to be a tough group for them because what you've got with Mauritania, Gabon and DRC is you've got some solid outfits there. And of those 3, 2 of them will make it to AFCON, which is exciting. Be great if Mauritania can fight and get there, but it'll be tough because the other sides are good teams. Would be really, really interested to see how that one pans out. The next group is Group J. God, there are so many groups as part of this qualification. Jesus. We have got Tunisia, Libya, Botswana, and Equatorial Guinea. Core focus for us in this one, mate. Equatorial Guinea were fantastic in the last AFCON, but they've got off to a shocking start with a 4-0 defeat, albeit to Tunisia.
Yeah, but think about how well they did against Tunisia last time out. They got that draw, didn't they? That famous draw. Maybe the bubbles burst for Equatorial Guinea. But what a campaign they had in AFCON. They were brilliant to watch. And fair play, I still think they're a nation on the up. But maybe it's just a slower build, and there's nothing wrong with that. Botswana played their first game of the tournament because they got a bye in the prelims against Eritrea. It was a 1-0 defeat to Libya. Which is a fair result, I think, based on kind of what you'd expect from the sides. Again, this is another case of, actually, apart from Tunisia, which will probably now win every game you'd expect, it's a good test for one of these smaller sides to get through.
It is,
Libya, Botswana, Equatorial Guinea, one of them's going to AFCON. And for Libya, what a start, because you give yourself the huge leg up, beating Botswana. There's an argument to say provided that they now don't lose too heavily to Tunisia, they can just kind of avoid defeat and maybe kind of make their way there slowly. So a great start for Libya, worst possible start for Equatorial Guinea, and Botswana, we can't read too much into it yet.
Yeah, no, bang on. And we've got groups K and L, although, mate, we've not got many minnows here, so are we going to touch on these too much? Probably not. This is starting to border outside of the DNQ territory.
Yeah, it is. Again, Group K, there's not a huge amount to talk about. There's only 3 teams in this group because Zimbabwe are also disqualified. So it's just Liberia, Morocco, South Africa. I fear that will be just boring, and Morocco and South Africa will get there. But it'll be good for the Bafana to get there because
that's true.
They've not been doing great of late. So there's an outside chance of Libya.
That one looks a procession, though, really, mate, doesn't it? Because Liberia at 1-4-9, they're not really going to lay a glove on Morocco or South Africa. You'd expect those two to go through.
Morocco could even play with their Morocco A team, I think, of domestic players, and I think they could still probably win that group. And in Group L, there's smaller nations, Rwanda, Mozambique, smaller nations. Senegal will win the group. It's about who comes second, and it will probably be, despite losing their first game, it will probably be Benin, to be honest. But it's a good chance for Rwanda or Mozambique to maybe get in with a shout, although I don't think that they will. Is that unfair to say?
No, I think I'd kind of agree with that, to be fair. Benin with a 3-1 loss to Senegal in the first game, not unexpected. Senegal, one of the juggernauts in African football. Big time. And then Rwanda and Mozambique, they will... I mean, look, the pair of them will fight for the that second spot. However, it's almost like a draw. When they play each other and they draw, it's kind of not ideal, isn't it? Because you'd be wanting to beat the other, because that kind of gives you the best chance to try and get that. Yeah, no, I think you've nailed it there, mate, really. But as we kind of always say, when we're not... For these, personally, Rwanda and Mozambique and some of these other nations that are almost sort of mid to kind of that sort of lower sort of second third of, I don't know if that makes sense, but of kind of African football. I would hold my hands up and say I don't know a massive amount about individual players, tactical approaches to games. So as always, we don't profess to be experts, we're fans. If there's any players or teams that you think that we should have a bit more of a look into, who's up and coming, who's on the decline, throw some comments down there. We're football nerds. We love learning about this kind of thing. And that for me, mate, is probably a nice kind of closing point. Love AFCON qualification. I mean, there's just so many groups. It's borderline insane. But yeah, any thoughts that anyone has, throw them down below, because we are all ears. And we'll be keeping tabs on this as it goes through, mate, won't we? There's been one match. There's been one kind of game week, as it were, in the majority of the groups. Some groups haven't even started yet. Gambia, for us, we've got a bit of a soft spot. They've won, so we wanted to touch on that. But we'll be keeping close tabs on how this progresses.
What a perfect way to end. Yes, thank you for watching. If you've made it to this stage, then you've probably already subscribed, and we love you. But if you haven't subscribed yet, then why not?
And we love you.
And we love you. Drop a like on this video, or a dislike if you hate Ryan like I do. And I don't know why. I thought I'd spice it up a little bit. And as ever, we'll see you next time.